We're back, we're back, we're back, we're always back. This is July 8th as well. Wednesday, July 8th. On one of these videos, I said Tuesday, July 8th. I think on another video, I literally talked about how I said Tuesday, July 8th. So I already talked about this. No need. No need. It's Wednesday, July 8th. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. Shout out to me in the future who is after this vacation. I'm excited. Watching some baseball, eating some good food, going on walks, runs. I'm excited. Very excited, obviously. It's today though. It's today, and what I can do today is leave you with some information that I've been thinking about and some information that I have tried to transcript into a coherent thought and a coherent idea. And I've seen other people say this, but they're not saying it in the exact way that I am. They're not saying it with my tone, with my voice, of course. And it's that social media is trying to group us into these certain niches and these certain fields so that we think that we are similar to other people. But literally, one person could not be further from another person. Like, even if they have the same values, even if they have the same, like, what I'm basically saying is social media makes us think we're so much similar to each other than we actually are. And it makes us think that we have these connections with people because they follow our page, they like the same music as us. This is a big point in here. They like the same movies, music, and all that to us. And while that is what part of my page is built on, what part of my life is built on, is connecting to people through music, movies, and art. And I think entertainment media is the most important thing in my life. I think it always has been. Entertainment media. On top of that, I would say music. Music is the most important thing that I think about daily, probably, right? Among many of other things, and many other things. I put this poster back up here. This is a poster because the glare from my ceiling my ceiling light doesn't seem as bad as it was in the previous videos, and it makes it look fuller behind me. I enjoy it. I like it like that. I like it like that. But let's get back to the topic. Social media is grouping us in with these people because they like the same artists as us. And while I think that's important because listening to a song that you like with somebody else who likes that song is a transcendental experience, bro. You don't get that anywhere else. Watching a movie with somebody who likes the same movie and connecting through the art and talking about the things you like about it is transcendental. It's magic. It really is. It really is. And I think that is an important thing when you're connecting with people. And I think that people do have similarities, and it's amazing that people like the same things. It's an amazing thing when people get along because people like the same things. However, my point is that social media tries to box us in with all these people to tell us that just because we go to the gym at the same time as these people, just because we listen to the same music, just because we watch the same movie, we like the same things, we wear the same shirt, we rock the same haircut, we rock the same thing. It tries to group us in as being that person, and it gets rid of individuality. Now, I'm watching a video right now kind of about this, but not really about this. It mentions it very shortly, and I forgot her name. I'm sorry, but it's about brain rot, and she mentions a guy I've been following for a while. I'm sorry, I really am blanking on her name. The person I'm watching the video, whoever it is, shout out to you. She mentions a guy I've been following for a while. His name's the Etymology Nerd. Shout out to him. He's amazing at what he does. Basically, he breaks down words. Like, I think one of his more famous videos is about, like, or some of his most famous videos are about memes and like new words that become memes, and breaking those words down into their prefixes, suffixes, and whatnot, and basically defining what the word is and how it makes sense that it became what it was in the meme. And he's fantastic, incredible. But he, in this video that she's referencing, I really am sorry I forgot her name, but she's referencing another person, Simone Weil. I think it's, I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's Weil, and it's about this topic. another philosopher. Shout out to the philosophy um, people. Shout out to everybody doing philosophy, whatever. Uh, but the etymology nerd, he has this article that was basically about how he could not find articles that were niche enough. And it's not about trying to find things that are niche or trying to find things that you connect with other people to because nobody likes them or because like it's niche, it's unique or anything right like that. It's not about that. Basically, the point of this argument that I have is that nobody is basic. They might just be basic to you. They might just be not what you want to be around. No one is the same as another person. Literally nobody is the same. Like I think a lot of people have this idea that everybody who like, and this is a wrong idea, right? A wrong look at the way of life, right? But it's like everybody who looks similar is the same just because they look similar to another person. Like they're giving you that vibe. They're giving you the vibe of whoever it may be. And they look like you. And then when they look like you start to pick up on things where they kind of act like you. And then people are like, oh, dude, that's literally you. That's literally the same person. But it's not at all. It's not at all the same person. Nobody's the same person. I've met people that are profoundly similar and grew up on a lot of the same things. This is something I've talked about a lot with one of my best friends at school. He met this guy who's friends with another friend. If you're watching this right now, shout out to you. You know who you are. You've talked about this to me a lot. He met this guy who's basically like the same person as him. And while that's interesting and all of that, he's not the same. He's not actually the same person as him. He just has more things in common than you would really expect. But his communicating, he doesn't move his head the same way when he talks. He doesn't use his hands the same way when he talks. I use my hands to talk a lot when I'm passionate about something. When I'm more comfortable speaking, I'm always using my hands, and I've been using my hands down here to like doing all this stuff whatever down below the camera. But now I'm really trying to think about this, and when I'm trying to think about something, I get super passionate about it, and I start to use big words too, because I'm trying to get the point across. It's not because I'm trying to sound smarter and anything, but I'll go into another topic for 2 minutes. Literally, I'm going to give myself 2 minutes on this, and this is try to be. I used to think I wanted to be the smartest person in every single room. That's why I started reading. That's why I started trying to further my knowledge on every little topic. I used to think I wanted to be the smartest person in every room. However, you have to realize that nobody is like smarter than another person. There's no textbook idea of being smart. There's no like I might know more things about, and I'm sorry to whoever there's someone I'm disrespecting here. I'm very sorry to you. I'm sorry that I know, or it's not about me knowing the multiple ways that you can cook salmon. Um, it's not about that at all. Shout out to you. You know a lot more than me about connecting with people. If you're watching this, shout out to you. We had a very short conversation about this one time, and I think about it quite often because I was like, how do you not know you could poach salmon? But that was my past judgment, right? I don't think like that anymore, because there's things that they're like, Kevin, how do you not know that? Kevin, like what? How do you not know this thing about business or communication skills or whatever it may be? So I used to think you want to be the smartest person in every room, and you want to have all this, and I still think you want to have all this general knowledge about so many different things, so that when you see someone outside doing something that you find interest in, you can just go up to them and start talking to them, because it's really important to be able to just go up to literally anybody and talk to them, because we are not the same as each other, but everybody has similarities. There's no person in the world who is a complete opposite to you. It just doesn't exist. They might disagree with you on so many things, but there's nobody who is complete opposite to you. And one of my best friends at home is somebody who I vehemently disagree with on so many different topics, and I still talk to him all the time, almost every day. Great dude. You know who you are if you're watching this. But social media is killing individuality, and it's why we think that that's the reason why we think that our favorite artists, our favorite actors, favorite musicians, favorite whatever it may be, a content creator, whoever. That's why we think they're so cool and so creative and so blah blah blah, is because they've walked out of this. They are individual, and they are talking about their individual ideas. They're moving individually. They're doing everything in their own breath, right? My favorite artists are right now. My favorite artist is Quadeca. He's a very talented multi instrumentalist, vocalist, everything that you could talk about. He's right here. This album, Scrapyard Quadeca, fantastic. Literally, I picked up this limited edition vinyl for quite a bit less than it usually sells for, and I was really happy to pick it up because I think he's dropping another album this year about religion and cults and shit, and it's really sick. Really cool artist. But the reason that he's my favorite right now, and the reason that him and Tyler and all these other the creative minds, Kanye sometimes in some of his work or whatever it may be, the reason they are my favorite artists is because they are doing everything themselves. This guy Quadeca, if you don't know, his story is very interesting. He came up making FIFA videos on YouTube, and then he ended up in a rap battle with KSI, who is famous for boxing, of course, and for being a social media influencer and the Sidemen and all of that. If you were into that, hit me up. That shit's really fun to talk about because I was so into that in 2017, 2018. You literally, if you were one of my friends, you could not talk to me about anything else except for diss track season. That was literally my fucking like life at that point, bro. I was invested, okay? And then this guy came out, and I think that his diss track on KSI literally made me get into rap music in a sense, and it's not an amazing song. It actually has some catchy melodies, some interesting beat switch, right? Funny lyrics. It's not a great song, and then he dropped a rap album that's also not very good, but at the time I thought this was the most profound thing. I'm really rambling about him because I love him so much. But what he's doing is creating everything individually. He's making movies for his records. There's a movie out for his last album, Vanisher Horizon Scraper. Great tracks on there. I love the Danny Brown feature. I love so much about that. I love the last song. I forget the band name. Starts with an M. Maruja. They've got a new album out I need to listen to, apparently, based on what I've seen on social media. Need to go listen to that. But the point is, these are my favorite artists because they do everything individually. They're producing all of their own shit. They're making the movie for their own shit. They're scripting everything. They're doing all the dialogue. They're doing everything individually. That's why they're my favorite. And that's how we connect to people, is by doing things individually, because the movie that he would make for Vanisher Horizon Scraper, which is about being a sail, a pilot of a boat, a fucking captain, whatever this shit, captain of a ship or some shit, or being just a guy in a boat, and it's about like sea monsters, and he travels through. The movie he would create is completely different from the movie that I would create if I was doing that. I would probably use completely different lighting. I would use completely different textures, completely different film styles, completely different instrumentals if I was making the music, completely different everything, because when you start trying to do something, you start copying it. You start with making. I started with remaking some of my favorite beats, or trying to remake some of my favorite beats. They are absolutely god awful renditions of my favorite beats, but that's when I started making music, when I started music production. Now I'm making, honestly, some interesting shit. I am going to start putting some shit out in the future, probably the near future. That expect some shit from me, but the thing is, what I would make is completely different from what he would make. And we need to get out of this idea of becoming one hive mind of thoughts, and becoming each person's individual self. Because while you may have surface level things in common with somebody, you like the same foods, you like the same clothes, you might even agree on the same political spectrum, right? That doesn't mean they are like you. Nobody is like each other to a T. Have a great day. Whatever you're doing right now, tell someone to have a great day today. If it's the morning, tell somebody to have a great day. If it's the night, tell somebody to have a great night. If somebody had a bad day, reach out to them and make sure that they have a good day tomorrow. If that includes you going to them to hang out with them and make sure they have a good day, do that shit, because that's important. That's what's important in life. Goodbye.